and welcome to the first episode of the Blueprint series where I show you how to set up the blueprints that I've created through my various Planet Coaster parks. And this one is all about the Mattford Park Carousel. You can see we got it set up in here, and I'm going to show you how to do that so you don't have any issues getting it, because it can be a little bit tricky. So it fits in a 7x8 rectangle, not square, path, and you don't necessarily have to have it perfectly in somewhere. It can create its own rectangle, if you will. So let's go ahead and let's show you how to do that. If I can get my HUD back up. So the first thing we need to do is make sure our global vertical snapping is turned off, and that is in the gameplay settings under game. You just go ahead and click that arrow and then hit apply, and you are good for that. And then we'll open up the blueprint. I don't have many currently downloaded, but like I said, it does not matter the orientation, so let's go ahead and make this one really weird. And then I like to place it with the advanced placement tool. So you hit X to pull that up, and you can see it's pretty elevated at the moment. So let's go ahead and bring that down to closer to ground level. And it doesn't need to be exactly perfect, but what you're going to look for is where we have these hedges. You can see the fence is raised up a little bit, so we want that fence to be just touching the ground. So we get that in there, and everything else should fall into place. The one on the back, that actually will be raised up a little bit, so that is okay. That one's a little bit higher. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So yeah, if you have that, you're correct. I recommend use one of these side hedges. It's the best. So let's go ahead and place that. And you can see, of course, we have to tell everyone about the video and the instructions. And this brick wall, that is important because that is how we set up our paths. So if we hit select grid, you can see I have a whole bunch of settings on here that I don't want. So we go ahead down to our advanced settings in the path display here, and we just pretty much turn off all 4 of these. The path supports don't really matter because we're not going to be elevated, and you're not going to be able to see the paths that are elevated here. So we just go ahead and fill in our square, all nice like here. And we get that all set up. Now, another way that you can test the scenery is if I use the adventure benches when I was placing this, so they will fit perfectly under here, so guests will be able to sit. You can also use the wooden benches here, but you may need to play around with a little bit. As you can see that that piece just sticks out a little bit, so you may need to raise it up a little bit if you need to use those, if you don't have the adventure DLC or whatnot. I don't know if any of the other ones will work. No, that will not work. Maybe this one. Maybe. Oh yeah, that one definitely comes with the game. So that is a bench that you could use as well, which would be nice for your guests to be able to sit down. You can put these all around the path here, and guests will be able to sit. See, it's a little off, but it's fine. You can certainly adjust this to make it a little bit better for everything. And to do that, you just kind of select everything, hit your X advanced move tool here, and we could just go ahead and there we go. So now we got it all set up a little bit better here. You can see our path automatically connected. We did not want that to happen. So the exit's the easiest path. You just go from the exit, click and drag down, and it puts you on the ground, and that's perfect. Now the Q is the most challenging part of this whole thing. So you have to hold Control and Shift. That'll raise it up. You got to get it just above this little piece of dirt here. And once you do that, you can let go of Shift. And then we're going to go ahead and place it over this cone piece and have it in the middle here. So we want it to be as middle as we can get it. So maybe about right there. And it, that definitely was not my best placement job that I've ever done. So we're going to do this again. Get it just up above. And maybe about right there. A little bit better. You can also start the path down here. Now if you turn the angle snap on, it doesn't do anything, so that's good. But I personally like to start it, and for some reason we have railings turned back on. I don't know how that happened, but we did. And I do like having angle snap for this portion. So you just go and it'll auto connect up there for you. Let's get those railings out of here, and then you have to turn the angle snap off for this part. And this is the part that gets tricky. So you have to make it as close to appearing out, and you can actually use, you can leave this little corner. As you can see, it's about to pop out there. So if you see, you can even go out to there. It'll all go in when you place the next piece, and you go all the way around like this, and this will cover up most of the curb, which is nice, so you don't have that to contend with. And yeah, it is. I've tested this. I've tested it a few times now. It's working better. I had to make some adjustments to it, but it is all going well. It is a little bit tedious to get this perfectly right. But once you do, it looks great, and it'll be a great addition for your park. Plus, if you really mess around with the ride sequence for this thing, you can get close to 1,000 prestige, and then this thing will be a major moneymaker for you. So, alright, so we are getting close to the entrance of the attraction and the completion. So once we get here, I like to stop it right there, right as you get to this part, and then you can build out, and you can see it definitely looks weird, but once we connect it, you just kind of ease it in until everything disappears, and it is all set. There is going to be potentially some that comes through. You can modify that if you want. You can also play around with it. You'll eventually get it to disappear, but it has to be absolutely perfect for it to completely disappear. And then the last piece, all we have to do, click on our brick and delete that, and we're all set. Everything is perfectly, again, another little piece that you're not always going to be able to get it perfect, but honestly you're never going to see that either. So now we have two of them in here. We can connect this up. You can also have it on your own grid if you'd like. You don't need to always make it its own grid. So I hope this tutorial to setting up the Mattford Park Carousel has been helpful. If you think it was, please make sure to leave a like. If you want to see some more blueprints come up, I do plan to put them up as I make them in my series, which I definitely recommend checking that out. It is the Planet Coaster Horror Mode. It is a challenge mode where we are trying to make it very detailed and very realistic. Not super realistic to the part where I need to have wires and all that nonsense going in, but I am going to take a fair stab at it. So if you like that, please make sure to check that out on my channel. Again, that's mostly Average Matt. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.